The galaxy had never seen a species quite like humanity. Not because we were stronger, faster, or wiser, but because, when cornered, we built. While empires rose on fusion cores and plasma blades, we tinkered with scraps, jury-rigged miracles from junk, and whispered to machines until they sang. But desperation breeds innovation, and in the shadow of the Galactic Imperium's boot, desperation was all we had left. The Imperium's rule was absolute. Their fleets blotted out stars, their laws choked entire worlds, and their governors executed dissenters with cold, algorithmic precision. Resistance was a fairy tale, until the day a handful of rebels vanished into the bleeding edge of known space. Their hideout wasn't a fortress or a warship, it was a cave. A jagged, airless hollow in the belly of a dead asteroid where the only light came from welding torches and the fevered glow of holographic schematics. They called it Project Eventide. A black hole generator, not the elegant silver and ceramic devices the Imperium mounted on dreadnoughts, but a snarling patchwork monstrosity. The rebels scavenged singularity cores from derelict freighters, repurposed quantum capacitors meant for terraforming engines, and wrote code on stolen datapads that fizzed with static. The physicist among them, a woman who'd once designed reactors for colony ships, calculated the odds of success, 0.7%. She laughed when she said it. "So you're telling me there's a chance." For weeks, they worked in shifts. Sleep came in minutes, rations in crumbs. The generator took shape, a nest of cables and corroded plating, its heart a stolen Imperium power cell, jury-rigged to pulse in reverse. They didn't know it yet, but they were building more than a weapon. They were building a key. When the Imperium found them, it was almost poetic. A patrol fleet, sleek and silent, dropped out of warp at the asteroid's edge. The rebels had minutes. They armed the generator, its activation sequence a cacophony of klaxons and sparks. The Imperium commander's face flickered onto their screens, smug, demanding surrender. The rebel leader, a former engineer who'd lost 3 siblings to a labor camp, smiled. "You first." They fired the weapon. Space rippled. A pinprick of darkness bloomed above the asteroid, swallowing the patrol fleet's missiles, then their fighters, then the ships themselves. The Imperium vessels crumpled like foil, screaming into the void. The rebels cheered. They had done it. They had defied the undefiable. But black holes are not tools. They are mouths. The generator's radiation didn't fade. It spread, seeping into the cosmic background like ink in water. Sensors flagged anomalies, gravitational eddies where none should exist, whispers in the static that formed. Patterns. The physicist noticed first. "It's not just destroying matter," she said, staring at the data. "It's waking up something old." Deep in the fabric of space-time, something stirred. A consciousness older than stars, hungrier than entropy. A thing that had slept since the universe was young, curled in the quantum foam. The generator's radiation was a dinner bell. It emerged near a fringe colony. One moment, the sky was clear. The next, a shimmering haze, like heat distortion, engulfed the horizon. Then the ground dissolved. Buildings, trees, people, gone, not even ash left behind. The entity wasn't a creature. It was a process, a wave of unraveling reality, feeding on the energy of dying stars, and now on the rebels' weapon. Panic fractured the galaxy. Imperium and rebel transmissions blurred together, identical in their terror. Fleets scrambled to fight the entity, firing every weapon they had. Plasma cannons vanished into its event horizon. Fusion warheads detonated silently, absorbed. The entity grew, its formless body swelling as it ate. The rebels regrouped in their cave, now a tomb lit by emergency lights. Guilt hung heavier than radiation. "We wanted to break their chains," the leader muttered. "Not unleash this." But the physicist was already working, fingers flying over a cracked terminal. "The generator didn't just wake it," she said. "It's sustaining it. The black holes, they're a bridge, a way for it to feed. A plan formed. Madness, of course. But what wasn't these days? They would build a second device, not to create singularities, but to seal them. A countermeasure using the same scavenged tech that birthed the entity. The Imperium, in a rare moment of clarity, agreed to a ceasefire. Warships delivered parts under white flags. Former enemies worked side by side in the cave, their hands stained with coolant and blood. The final battle was not a battle. There were no heroes charging into fire, no speeches, just a small battered shuttle diving into the entity's heart, the countermeasure in its hold. The physicist piloted. "It's not about killing it," she had said. "It's about closing the door we opened." The device activated. Reality buckled. For an instant, the entity paused. A galaxy-wide flinch. Then, with a soundless howl, it collapsed inward, severed from the generator's tether. The remaining black holes winked out. The countermeasure dissolved, its atoms scattered across light years. When the dust settled, the Imperium was broken. Their fleets gutted, their governors silent. The rebels? Most were gone. But their legacy wasn't the weapon or the war. It was the lesson that humanity's greatest talent isn't invention, it's adaptation. The will to fix what we break, even if it costs us everything. In the cave, now a monument, a single datapad remains. Its final entry, scrawled in the physicist's hand, reads, "We thought we were building a tool. Turns out we built a mirror, and in the end, we chose to look away."